This tiny 3D printer almost clocked over 2,000 hours and it still runs like it did on day one. So my girlfriend actually bought this to print me a 3D printed Thanos gauntlet. Yes, this one. And now it's the machine that started my entire 3D printing journey. This $200 printer kickstarted my Etsy 3D printing business, which has now generated me almost $10,000. So we use it both commercially and for personal projects. And in this video, we'll be looking at the A1 Mini. Almost 2 years later, my experience with it, and if it's still worth getting to this day. Spoiler alert, there are a lot of things to like about this 3D printer and not really anything to complain about. So first up, the main thing about this printer is the cost. This cost around £170 or $220. And it goes even lower on Black Friday, so I think this ended up going to like £140. Now, even though the price is cheap, this printer is not. To me, it's one of the most reliable 3D printers out there. It's really easy to maintain. And also you get access to the entire Bambu ecosystem, which is great for beginners. And you also have the option to upgrade for multicolor prints, which I'll talk about later on. So one of the main features about this printer, and Bambu Labs in general, to be honest, is just they work really well right out of the box. So you can get this set up in less than 10 minutes. I'm not even joking. You're going to plug it in, connect it to your home network, going to connect it to your PC, and then it's going to start auto-calibrating itself. So it's going to level everything, make sure it's ready for you, and then you can hit print and then it will literally just work from beyond there. So in terms of the device, this thing actually comes in with a built-in webcam. To me, that is absolutely insane for the cost. So here you can actually see the preview and me moving my hand, so you can see it's actually updating, so I can preview what goes on in the print bed. Even when I'm outside the house, I can see how the print's going, which is super useful. And it'll even send you messages saying, oh, the spool is stuck or something's wrong with the printer, go check it out. And let's say if the print isn't going as expected, you can actually pause it or stop it remotely, which is super useful so you don't end up wasting your filament. So with the camera in there, you can also create time lapses automatically, so you can actually show your friends how the print's going and even post it on social media, which is really cool. And another thing that I really like about this printer is the fact that it comes with a touchscreen. It makes it so easy to use when you're changing filaments and settings. Even my P1S, this thing is like triple the price of this when I first bought it. It doesn't have a touchscreen, and it's one of those things that you just really appreciate as a beginner and you notice when it's not there. So now let's talk about maintenance. For those of you that don't know, 3D printers do require a little bit of maintenance because there's moving parts, and also the nozzles can get clogged. To be honest, I actually have less problems maintaining a 3D printer than I do with a regular inkjet printer, which I find pretty weird, but it is pretty cool. So in terms of maintenance on this printer, because it's actually not that complicated, it's actually really easy. So when you want to change your nozzles, let's say if it's clogged or you need to change the size, you just take off this cap. Normally there is a little sock cover here, but I've actually got it removed. And then you just unhook this, and then you can actually remove the nozzle, clean it with the tools that they provide in the pack, which is really useful, and then put it back in, or just get a brand new nozzle, because sometimes these are like degradable components. It might be easier to get a new one. They're not that expensive. They sell them at a reasonable price on their website. Put it back in, close it up, and then you're good to go. And here we go, super easy, just like that. And by the way, I'm Dev. I 3D print for fun and I run a small Etsy business. So if you guys are interested in this type of content, make sure to subscribe and leave a like. It really does help me out a ton, and let's get back into the video. And one thing to note is that this printer is known as a bed slinger type of printer. So what that means is this thing will actually move left and right in terms of the tool head, but this thing will also move back and forth in terms of the build plate. So that's how it's going to end up printing. This thing does move on the actual Z axis as well. So the bed is actually slinging. And because there's so many of these moving parts, occasionally you are going to have to lubricate these rails because you want to prevent it from rusting, but also you want to take care of these rails so they actually end up lasting longer and don't cause mechanical damage. Okay, I'm starting to lose the light here, so I've had to bring out the ring light. But you also get a few of these in the box. This is grease and lube. You can also buy it on their store, or they do also recommend alternatives on their guides. But all you do is you just end up lubing these rails here, sliding it there. Same thing for the top one as well, I believe, sliding it left and right, and that's it. So in terms of maintenance, it really is super easy. The main thing you're going to do is just lube these rails and change the tool head. Because the system isn't that complicated, it's actually easier than those other, I'd say, better or more advanced 3D printers. But maintenance definitely is a big factor here, and it really does help you as a beginner. I need a tea break while I'm recording this, so cheers. So the main elephant in the room here is the size of this 3D printer. It's actually got a build plate of 15 centimeters cubed. So that means 50 centimeters in width, 15 centimeters in length, and 15 centimeters in height. And to be honest, the size actually has its pros and cons. You can't, of course, print as big things on it without splitting it up. But also the small form factor makes it very attractive. And that's probably the main reason why my girlfriend got this 3D printer. Its small form factor allowed her to actually put it in her home office, but also this thing started out in her bedroom. Because of the form factor and how cheap it was a no-brainer in terms of like an entry-level 3D printer. And she's really glad she got it. And to be honest, so did I, because I ended up stealing it from her, and that's what started my 3D printing journey. And if I'm being honest, most objects that I 3D print aren't actually larger than the build plate. So if I want something printed, it can fit on a 15 centimeter cubed volume. It's only when I want to print multiple stuff, that's when I end up putting them across a bigger build plate, so I don't have to come back to the printer and then start reprinting them again. But you can get very far with this size. And to be honest, most people on Maker World, which is where you get 3D models, which I'll talk about later on, they're very accommodating to this type of printer. So they'll either scale down the original model, which you can do as well, or they'll split up the files for you and the geometry so you can print it on this printer and then combine it yourself later on, which is actually really good. That's how we ended up printing the Thanos. So not we, that's how she ended up printing the Thanos gauntlet for me. And yeah, the fact that that thing was printed on this printer right here is really cool. So next up, let's talk about the AMS, which I mentioned before is the automatic material system. I don't actually have it here, and there's a good reason for that, which I'll mention in a sec. I do have it at home, and that's where I'm going to show you the B-roll footage of it. But essentially what an automatic material system is, or the AMS, is a way for you to print multicolored objects automatically. So usually when you 3D print something, you are going to put in a roll of filament, which is essentially like the ink of the 3D printer, and then you're going to 3D print something. When you want to 3D print in multiple colors, and this is actually changing, which I'll talk about in another video, but for this model, you actually have to unload the filament because it only has one tool head, and then you have to load the new color in, right? So you actually need something known as an AMS to do that for you automatically. The problem with the AMS when you combine it with this model, in my eyes, is that it actually increases the form factor by quite a bit. So here is the 3D printer here, and it's about 150 pounds, right? If you add an AMS, it's probably about this big, and it takes up quite a lot more space than you think, and it doesn't make the form factor of this quite so small anymore. Also, in terms of price, you can get an AMS Lite, which I think is around £100. Don't quote me, check the website. But or you can also get an AMS Pro, which is better, and it does work with other 3D printers, but it does end up increasing the cost quite a bit. When you get an AMS and you start multicolor printing on this printer specifically, you're sort of wiping out all its advantages in terms of a smaller footprint and the size. So if you guys are interested in multicolor printing, I'd recommend you get the A1, which is the bigger version of this one. The original size. It's got a build volume of, I think, like 25 or 28 centimeters cubed. So it's quite a bit bigger. And then it's only about £50 more. But if you do have a big form factor on that already, you of course are going to make use of more, let's say, multicolored prints, and don't really care about the form factor increasing that much. So normally when you get an AMS on this thing, you do end up putting it on the side. I have seen some people attach it to the top, so the form factor or footprint is actually quite small. But the only problem with that is that it ends up being quite unstable, and I see it shaking quite a bit. In my opinion, do not get an AMS with this model. You're negating all the benefits. Either upgrade to the A1 or just get a P1S or P2S if you really are interested in multicolor prints. So next up, let's talk about the Bambu ecosystem. And that is by far the biggest advantage of this printer, along with its price. They've got a really good hub for models. The 3D printers are actually quite cheap, and everything just works. You're going to download a model either on your phone or on your computer, and then you can set it to print, and there you go, it works. You can actually view the camera on your home PC or on your app when you're outside. And it actually has really good support online because loads of people have these printers. You've got really good supports on their Discord and on their Reddit. And like I said, you're part of this larger ecosystem. So even when you're out and about, you can actually go on their app and choose what you want to 3D print from there. And then you can even select a model. And if your printer has the right filament in it loaded already and the build plate is clear, you can actually send it to print from your mobile, which I think is absolutely incredible. You're just gonna have so much fun with it. Their entire ecosystem is flawless. The only downside to their ecosystem, which I'm not gonna cover fully in this video, I'll put an article down below in case you guys want to read about it, is that I think they have a little bit of security and privacy issues. So I think they track a little bit about what you're downloading, and that really doesn't sit well with the 3D printing community because they want it to be open source and sort of respected. I personally have no problem with it. One, because I bought these printers before they even changed their policy, but I mean, to me, I just actually really prefer their ease of use. So make sure you guys read about it down below in the description if that really does bother you. But their entire ecosystem is just so easy to use and beginner friendly, and that's why I recommend this being one of your first 3D printers. I personally haven't used any other brand apart from Bambu, so I'm just going to put that out there. I can't really comment on theirs saying if it's better, but from what I've read online for how much other printers require you to tinker and my personal experience with Bambu printers, that's the one I'm going to recommend to you beginners out there. And now let's talk about the downsides with this 3D printer. And to be honest, these aren't really downsides, it's just technical limitations for how much they could fit in with the price. So the first thing is that this printer, as I mentioned before, is a bed slinger. So just a quick reminder, that means this thing is going to move left and right, and this thing is going to move back and forth. The only problem with this, and this is quite specific to you, is that if you end up printing quite a lot of tall, slim objects, when you start printing with something like a bed slinger, they can occasionally knock down. So you are going to have to add something known as a brim, which is an additional surface on the build plate. So it just sort of helps it stick there so that it doesn't wobble over. That can cause a little bit of reduction in the print quality. So you'll see those edges around when you peel it off, but that's a very minor one. I don't really print a lot of those tall, larger, slim objects. If you do, and that's the main thing you're going to print, maybe you'd want a Core XY printer where the build plate stays the same and it's a tool head that starts moving around in all the different directions. So this is something like a P1S or basically any other Bambu Lab 3D printer. And next up we have the filaments. So this 3D printer is mainly going to print in PLA, TPU and PETG. They're really good beginner filaments, and to be honest, PLA is the one that's the most beginner friendly because that's the one that actually has the least issues. It's also like a plug and play filament essentially. You're not going to have to adjust any settings. Almost all of them work correct out of the box, whether you're using PLA Basic, PLA Matte or PLA Silk, which is the shiny ones. And that's the main ones you're going to end up 3D printing with this one. So if you do want something a bit more exotic, so let's say like ABS or a carbon fiber material, then you are going to have to upgrade your 3D printer. That's because this nozzle can't actually print it. And I think these tubes also can't handle it as well. So that's when you're going to have to start looking at like the P1S, P2S, or maybe even the H2D, for example, because those are the ones that can actually support these exotic type of materials because of, you know, their upgraded nozzle and the tubes, but also because they are enclosed and they can actually regulate the temperatures and the settings of the filament when it's being printed. And the last problem isn't really a problem because I actually 3D printed the solution to it, which I want to show you. So this thing was modeled by someone in the community and I downloaded it. It's this little tray here that ends up catching these little color shoots here. So when you load in a new color, it will essentially start, chuck it in here, sliding it. If I didn't have this thing 3D printed, all of this would literally be on the ground or on my desk. So someone just invented this sort of trolley system that you can put on there, which I think is quite cool, and I wanted to show you guys that. So just keep that in mind, that if you do end up getting this sort of 3D printer, you might need a little bit of a bucket or a box here just to catch those color purges, but that's essentially it in terms of the downsides. Wow, look how much the light changed when I record this video. There's only like 1 hour of sun left in the UK per day now. So to conclude everything in this video, if you guys want to get into 3D printing, but you don't want to spend a lot of money, and you don't want a 3D printer that's actually going to take up a lot of space, this A1 Mini is the perfect 3D printer for you. I wouldn't recommend getting an AMS with it. Get this without the AMS because then you can see if you actually enjoy 3D printing. I'm very sure you will, but it's a very low cost and low effort commitment with this printer. And also if you get the AMS, you probably end up spending double what you originally intended, and the size ends up becoming quite a bit bigger as well. So it just sort of really negates all the benefits of this machine. Like I mentioned in the beginning, this $200 machine is actually what made me start my 3D printing business on Etsy. That went really well. It was technically free because I stole it from my girlfriend, but you guys get the idea. You don't need a fancy 3D printer to start. I didn't have one. I slowly upgraded and I'm really glad I've done it this way because I still appreciate this machine to this day. And if you guys did enjoy this video, I'd very much appreciate it if you can leave a like and subscribe. It does help a smaller content creator like me a lot. So if you guys are interested in my first year Etsy stats, what I sold for money, what worked well and what didn't, click on this video here. I also custom designed something for my girlfriend, which I gave her for Christmas, and you can check out that video here. It's a really cool video. Take care guys. Cheers, Dev.